Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're here with another NTW 3 battle for you today, and today we do have a 3v3 here, and we'll pause it early on because, well, I've been told by the person that sent this video in, or this replay in, that it is starting very explosive from the start, and I get their term of phrase because there are mines awaiting here, as it looks like we've got some Russian sort of guerrillas here getting ready to sort of set those mines up and maybe have a bit of an explosive surprise for the French that are waiting. And we have a horde of Cossacks as well, and yeah, it looks like this is going to be one spicy start to the fight. As we can see here on the mini-map, the Cossacks have encircled the French army almost immediately with their sort of like guerrilla stance that they can do. We'll start the replay now. I'm excited to see how this one goes down, but yeah, it should be a really exciting start. And yeah, it sounds like artillery already coming in as well. We've got lots of cav here for the French. This is actually a perfect sort of counter, I guess, in a way to deal with the Cossacks. They've also got a 12-pounder artillery piece already set up here as well. And it looks like we're about to see mines come in. You can see the French cav coming in. I'm just trying to keep an eye and see where they're going to go off first. Here it is, I think, is where they're going to go off first. There you go, some mines going off, followed by stakes. They got that one. It looks like they've not got the other ones just yet. They're going to avoid that one, but there you go. The stakes and the explosions routed one French cav unit. The Cossacks clashing as they go in against. It looks like lots of light sort of cavalry here for the French. Don't know if they're going to get this one. They might. I think they will in a second. There you go. More explosions going off. I don't know if they friendly fire the explosions, but that routed another French cav unit there. And they look like they're going to rout these other French cav units because probably just like morale be affected by routing friendly troops. The Russians look like they might have bit off more than they can chew there as they push forward a little bit. And the French have got some Bavarian cannons and some other hussars and stuff like that going in as well. And it looks like, I think the final one went off as well, but that one seemed to have failed to kill off this Chasseur Cheval, and now they're getting in behind to try and get the light infantry here. The artillery is still desperately trying to fire, I guess trying to fire into the blobs of French here. The French squares are also formed to try and scare off the Cossacks, which they're doing okay. We got Platov there, yeah. This is Russia Narod, so it's actually like it is its own faction, its own like sort of guerrilla sort of skirmish Russian faction. It can bring. It is only an 8-pointer, so it's fairly expensive in a way. It's not fairly expensive. It's semi-expensive, but it can be very useful and very annoying. And this is definitely one meme way that you can definitely start off a battle, isolating a faction like this. And yeah, basically encircling it with guerrilla troops actually could be quite a good way to double team a faction. If you had this faction, you could, if like how the spawns worked out, you could like double team a certain Imperial force. You could definitely do that. But there you go. A lot of the cav now gone for the French, and you can see the Russians aren't finished yet. They still have Cossacks in the back lines here. They're probably hunting for generals and artillery pieces. Looks like there's one French cav maybe left, the Chasseur Cheval. I think that might be the last one. You've got the general there's the only other mounted horse unit. Oh no, this hussar has returned by the looks of it. But there you go. That is Russia already causing some chaos. We do have two other coalition factions, obviously, in this 3v3. We do have the Holy Roman Empire here with their huge blobs of infantry here. There's got to be thousands of infantry here. Yeah, these units are like 200 a piece in size. And then we've got a fair amount of cav as well coming forward here. I like how one of them is called Rohan, like after the row here. And then we have the Turks as well. So we have an interesting trio. I'd certainly say three factions we don't often see here. And we do have yeah, the Ottomans. We are at the map of Blandersburg, which is a 1812 map, and appropriately we do have the USA for the Imperials here fighting. So that's cool to see. We have Native Americans as the sort of like skirmish troops. It's like skirmish guerrillas, if I'm correct. And then they've got a fair amount of militia. They kind of rely on militia spam. Do the Americans. We have another French army on the way up the road as well, but we don't know where that is at the moment precisely. But yeah, it seems like the French still having issues with the Russians here in the back lines. Actually looks like France. I think this might have been from the other French player, maybe sent a light cap back down the road, and it looks like they've managed to get some Cossacks. There's another Cossack cap back here that's still alive. But yeah, you can see the Russians. Oh no, definitely more French cav survived than I first thought. And yeah, the Cossacks here are going to go in going to try and, I guess, maybe get rid of these French Hussars. Looks like they are going to get rid of them, but they're probably going to be lost themselves. We'll see. Probably, yeah. I think, yeah, here we go. Surrounded by French cav, and there you go. That's the Russians gone as well. When the red line's so close, they aren't coming back, but neither are the French, in fairness. So there you go. A lot of cav, though, killed for the French team. I mean, this is, I think it was the 11-point French player. So yeah, it's a very expensive sort of core, and you know, relies a lot on you know, they're going to rely a lot on them, the Imperials. Now that they've lost a lot of assets, it's huge. And there you go. The Ottomans are also getting themselves a few kills here as they find some French skirmishers. And also they're taking out some Voltigeurs, and here come the French. I imagine this is going to be a Spanish campaign. I could be wrong, it might not be, but usually that is the common sort of like French players bring. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's looking at, we've got like guardsmen here. It might be 1814. Yeah, do have young guard amongst them. So it might be 1814. I'm not sure. I shouldn't really presume, but it's certainly another French army here. But yes, it's only one US faction, the 1812 US faction. But yes, if you're enjoying all things NTW3 and all things Napoleonic, and want to see more sort of glorious gunpowder action, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment show support. It really does help out the channel. And if you ever want to send in any of your own replays, let's have them featured on the channel. Get your sort of like qualities as a general shown in bright lights, then do send them into my Discord. The link is down below in the description. And yeah, it looks like the Ottomans again kind of rely on a sort of a spam sort of skirmish build, a bit like the US. I'd say the US can't spam as much as the Ottomans. But yeah, so both sides are going to try and wear each other down with a battle of attrition. Large units, 452 this one here. Insane. HRE are being very aggressive right now with their light cav. And it looks like actually they might be about to get themselves into another fight here. Yeah, looking at this unit here, this is National Guard. That is definitely reeking of 1814. So it's not even Spanish campaign. I was wrong. It's 1814. So we have 1814. We have, I think it's 11.1812 for Russia Center. Then we have the US as well. More men being routed for Russia Narod. Looks like just infantry they got rid of. It looks like they have managed to get maybe the guns here. And then the general's died as well. And that's Russia Narod losing his general. I think he maybe has been, oh, so it might have been friendly fired. So the Cossacks have got in there and done a fair amount of damage yes, that's not good. Russia Center now without a general. So yeah. Yeah, Russia Center without a general because Russia Narod has taken him out. Too many Russias, my liking, in that line there. Yeah, very good result there for the Russian Narod. Even though it's an 8-point, it's definitely one of the cheaper ones, I think. Yeah, it's a 9-point and a 9-point, the other two. So it's the cheapest core if you're going to lose any of them. And it's taken out a good amount of the 11-point, which is huge. There you go, yeah. The skirms there just getting finally taken out, and also looks at the gun crew. There's still one huge unit here of just sort of like skirmish militia. We're not, yeah, well, just militia really. Peasants. 487 they started with. We've only lost 20 guys so far. This, again, I guess if you can spam these guys out, another sort of strategy you can do, which is like the old Landwehr sort of strategy of like Prussia, just have like hundreds, well not hundreds, but like several, like sort of like 10 or 12 units of these. I was gonna say dozens, but maybe not even dozens, but yeah, a lot of units of those, and you could just sort of use those as mass to try and just sort of slow down and sort of wear down an opponent with just sheer musket fire. Even though it might be inaccurate musket fire, it'd still be musket fire.
Whole unit is lost.
And look at this. I mean, the US have got themselves into a decent position here, though. We've got artillery on a nice hill here, with some pretty horrible fire into the Ottoman units below. I think some of these are relatively decent. Maybe the Moldovan guys might be. These units here, I think this is a pretty decent unit, if I remember correctly. It's also a pretty big unit, 239. The Ottomans, I think, have attempted, yeah, it looks like they've attempted some sort of bayonet charge here, or maybe sword charge. They often get out their swords. Have been blasted in the face by the US, so they're going to have to rethink that strategy. Looks like the HRE are, maybe, I don't know, they look like they're trying to shift to try and maybe block off the French supporting the US, which they already are starting to do. Yeah, it looks like 1814 is kind of stretched all over the place. It's got a lot of infantry just sort of scattered here. You can see the US, the HRE are about to go in. Dragoons here going on. I don't know if these guys can form square. Often a lot of the 1814 units can't. And these are National Guards. I doubt they can. I think maybe one or two of them can. I think this one might be able to, you know. I think the cavalry there reared up. That's usually a sign that they can form square. I wouldn't call that much of a square. Oh, a bit more of a square now. Maybe more of like a, yeah, it's more like a pike square, so it's not like a hollow one. They did it nonetheless. And here we go, a little cav unit here. Light cav getting taken out. Looks like just a cheval getting taken out by the Hatchery. It's one less French cav to worry about, which is certainly something. And the Hatchery now could go into a whole bunch of infantry back here. I think these guys, I think they're the Guard of Paris. They can form square. They should be fine. But yeah, I don't know about these infantry here. Looks like maybe not. Dragoons might get them, but the squares might then blast the Dragoons out of the water. Even if they don't round, they nearly took them out. And they might, I mean, as I said, the French might take them out with friendly fire. You never know. They keep shooting. You need to be careful. HRE, obviously, in this day and age, with like sort of how the game is sort of balanced, it's more about shooting than it is about melee. But that doesn't stop the Ottomans. They're going into melee quite a lot here. Oh my gosh, that's brutal. Onto the gun. And that has routed the Ottoman infantry there. And the cav is persisting here. We've got some timber, CPI cav here, breaking through, taking out the Native Americans there. Infantry supporting. And they're going to try and break on through. And it looks like, yeah, the French, I think now haven't realizing they're going to have to march back to try and block off the HRE. The HRE's looking like it's going to swamp and take out a small portion of 1814. And 1812 needs to get his ass into gear, needs to get there soon to try and help out his allies. Because, yeah, the US in a whole lot of trouble now, I'd say, with the Ottomans starting to get in amongst them. And if they do that, that's always a bad sign. They definitely got better melee stats. I mean, this is a huge unit. Originally 450, down to 320. Yeah, still very scary. The Ottomans need to bring up more mass, more troops that can melee if possible. Maybe persist with the cav, get the cavs going for the guns, silence them. Don't know if it's tired. Might be able to get one more charge. And looks like, yeah, the Ottomans are going to get pushed back. That huge unit has been dealt with. There you go. Looks like we've got more CPI cav here. That's going to be shifting across. That might go for the guns. We will see. But yeah, US lost a lot of units there. And it looks like in melee charges. And also looks like maybe just line fights potentially as well. The Ottomans also looking pretty mauled. They've got a lot of troops on the retreating and routing as well. Some of it being artillery. Ottomans definitely say one of their stronger points is their artillery. They seem to be able to bring a lot of varying sort of quality, like sizes of artillery and mortars, which are like, and they're huge units often. They've got huge like gun units, which is I guess a benefit. I don't know, not necessarily very accurate. Yeah, here we go. HRE needs to just keep moving forward. The French are not going to want to stay in a line fight. And the thing is the French can outpace the HRE. So that's a benefit for fighting the HRE. If you're ever in danger, just walk away. They're, just save yourself. And here we go. Cav going in. The CPI Cav going in amongst the Native Americans here. Don't know how wise it's target this is. I mean, they might rout them, but hey, I feel these guys are decent in melee. They're going to go into the next one. There is a French gun behind. So whether that's their initial target for these cav is orange line for a moment, still is now. Might get this next one. There is a little cav unit here that looks like it might go for the guns. It absolutely should. If it can, and it might be beaten. Maybe not. No, the CPI cav still going in for the skirms. You're going to get that. And I mean, I think they're going to go for the general in the air. The US general here is in real danger. Ottomans are going to try and go for it. The US has seen the threat. I don't know if they can try and form a square, but they might get the general anyway. Maybe, maybe not. I think they kind of got stuck on the square, and the Ottomans are going to break. It looks like the guns have been massacred, by the way, while we were checking that out by the CPI cav. But the CPI cav's now in all sorts of trouble, surrounded by enemies, and the French cav's going to try and take it out. And I imagine they will. The CPI cav's probably tired, not doing so great, and there you go. It routs almost immediately. HRE setting in their own cav by looks of it. Looks like it's not got. Looks like he was trying to go for a general. French general's been left very sort of like open to be taken out, or should I say imperial generals. Very open to being taken out. That one, yeah, orange line for a moment. Rohan cav there, nearly got in and snuck and took it out. And again, look, you can see the French fired a couple of volleys sort of in vain, but again are retreating. You don't want to face this massive HRE, and it's really hard now in this, I'd say, in like the sort of like the stage NTW3's in, that shooting is just kind of the way to go. like facing off against factions like HRE, which have like 200 men in a unit, necessarily can't shoot like insanely well, but they just have so many men that eventually they'll just win the line fight. I mean, there are some very good shooting units amongst the HRE, especially the Grenzers, which I presume they have brought some, but I can't see any. It just looks like a lot of line infantry at the moment. There you go, some Slovakian Grenzers there. So yeah, they're just like those sorts of units are just kind of like, you know, these sorts of factions are really hard to sort of challenge, especially as France, unless you have large units up that can also shoot pretty well. Which certainly 1814 has got neither of, really. They kind of were more of a melee faction. You're relying on conscripts and some elites to try and, you know, win a melee fight and then win the game for you. Yeah, Croatian Grenzers here as well. They got all the Grenzers, the Latvian ones too. Yeah, I mean these units here probably nearly number as many Frenchmen as are opposing them. Some good ones here though. Young Guard. Pretty good. Another one here. I mean, the Young Guard spam is kind of the way to go as 1840. And it looks like they have at least a decent margin. That's 4. I don't know if we've got any more over here. General died for it's Platov from Russia. Narod. I think he's trying to get back to enemy to friendly lines.
This
maybe?
building has fallen to the enemy.
But anyway, that's not the end of the world that channel's been lost. I guess the only counter the French have is speed. Try and outpace the HRE, and if the HRE get themselves into a sort of a position like a bit like this one, I'd say, try melee. I'd try melee now because I think, well, they're trying to attack the building and then this unit will switch to the side. Probably 2v1 them, shoot them from the building, while also meleeing. But it looks like actually France might be going to go for that, and France I think is going in. Sort of, it looks like he's dashing over here, trying to maybe go for the charge, but then change his mind. Here goes France though. Going to side charge this infantry here, and he should rout it. There you go, redlining and breaking. These French too, look at that, redlining as well. This is the power of the HRE. They just blast you, but they have no squares, or very few squares. So France might be able to sort this out with a couple of good cab charges. Maybe not. The cab might have been off more than infantry. And also this unit here is Fimin. Great. At least he's been given attack orders. There you go, the French player wisely getting his cab out of action so he avoids being filmed anymore. So France is already leaving the building, they don't fancy staying in there. But yes, also the US is still, in a real bad position. I mean, the lines have altered. Like, the US originally was sort of like defending the road, like blocking it off. Now they've had to alter as HRE is flanked around, and now they're kind of just defending this small little bit of high ground here. Ottomans, I'd say, definitely have more assets. I mean, the US have a really good, strong defense position, though. I mean, there's quite a few US units out here just sort of blocking a couple of Ottoman units. The Ottomans should really just throw a lot more over here and just maybe put some skirmishers or, I don't know, or even just a couple of cheap units just to keep these guys occupied. And really try and get, I mean, you can see they're trying to do it here. The square will get in behind the US and try and, stretch them there. And there you go, you can see the dragoons once again failing to break the HRE. And it looks like, I think the HRE is going to go through this gap here. Dragoons of Yoke. They're going to go in and they're going to try and get this skirm, I imagine, and maybe try and rear charge the 1814 player. Or go for the general, that's always an option too. I think 1812 France is starting to arrive. So like the Russian campaign, France is arriving. He has no general, you got to remember, so that is a problem. And I think a square was formed here by the National Guard, and instead we're going to see a response of Hungarian infantry charging in. And here goes the dragoons into the back of the French here. This is not good for 1814. A lot of redlining going on. I imagine a lot of these units haven't got great morale. And there you go, Cav. Also looks like that's going to be beaten off by the dragoons here, or maybe not. Both for redlining. Could go either way. A lot of infantry there breaking with the infantry push coming from the HRE. With Cav in their back and infantry in their front, they just could not stand. And it looks like the Cav are going to break for both sides, which is fine because the HRE has done its job. They've pinned the infantry in place with the Cav, and now the infantry here has managed to get in, and it actually is meleeed okay. I think it's because other units are breaking around them that they've had some success there. So yeah, the left flank there for 1814 God. Now more made the right flank hold with the Young Guard and some other units. Yeah, they're probably winning their winning a gunfight slightly, not easily, just slightly. The HRE. Ottomans over here. It's a fast-paced game, this one. Ottomans slowly chipping away. The US are blasting them down. They really are, slowly, bit by bit. Like these guys, they've got some cool drift. I can't lie, that's very, very classy uniforms. Oh, more Ottomans breaking though. Obviously, they are sick of shooting at these US. They have been doing it pretty much for the entire game. And there you go, 1814 is done here. Another unit breaks for him. I don't know if it's Young Guard. Yeah, it was Young Guard starting to break. They aren't the biggest of units, the Young Guard. They're about like 100, just over 100 and like 90-man units. So yeah, up against like 200-man units, like they're getting outgunned. Simple maths is 2 to 1 just on the individual units, let alone the amount that the HRE have brought here. France again, look like they're maybe trying to push down this road, maybe try and do something here. I think it's artillery. I think it's just an artillery crew. Whether the guns, they just abandoned the guns, but it's just an artillery crew here. Whether they're going to try and man other ones that have been abandoned. I know you can do that in NTW, or you used to be able to do it. Don't know if you still can. Maybe the French players thought, oh, just bring up the crew and just try and man some other guns. Looks like the US are doing a good job. They got rid of the Turks on this side towards the town, and they're just kind of blocking them off now where the stakes are. They have put up a stake line here, and yeah, they kind of stopped the Ottomans in their tracks a little bit. We're going to see a charge here from the Native Americans. They're going to go in against these Ottoman troops. You know, they are like skirmish grenadiers. It's a very unique sort of thing. The US has access to, and I think one of the French forces do, but they routed immediately. The US general is still alive. He is not actually there. That's his gun. Another artillery piece. Maybe he isn't here. Has the US general also gone? I think he has. You know, I think he has actually gone. So that might be why these guys are breaking a bit too quickly. I don't think he died. I think he has just broken. Yeah, I think this one here. This might be like all his. Might be his crew there. I don't know. That might be the gun horses. I don't know. There you go. The Ottomans now pushing forward. The US, without a general by the looks of it, are looking very vulnerable now. I mean, really, I was going to say, they just have to go around the guns. These guns have no sort of like limbers, so you can just go around them. You can't keep rotating forever. There you go. They're getting in amongst the US. They need to just keep charging. I'm just going all out now. And yeah, more charges coming in from the Native Americans trying to help out their comrades. I guess more Anglican, we'll call them like comrades. There you go, they've been broken. I think the US are pretty much defeated. The Ottomans have a bit left to sort out. They still have cav though and artillery, while the US are now running out of that. The Ottomans have actually been able to send over more heavy cav over to this side. They put a lot of heavy cav in today's game. Well, certainly the Scipii, I always feel like a heavy, possibly not. It looks like 1811 over here is moving a Laguerre to maybe, sorry, not 1811, 1812 is the 11-pointer. Moving over here to try and shoot some dragoons, try to keep them at bay. It's a good strategy, you know, especially if it's a squareable unit. Just, you know, just push infantry against cav. It actually works quite well, especially since cav now is less effective. I mean, we did just see a great charge really from the HRE, but it's less effective since melee is obviously less effective. So cav charges aren't as devastating nowadays. There's a more and more longer line fights. Why, yes, the likes of the HRE are probably going to do very well at the moment in scenarios. They're going to probably benefit a lot from having this patch. I don't even think the HRE bothered with artillery. I think that's, oh no, it has. They just haven't bothered to bring it forward. Well, 5-pounders and a 10-pounder back here are doing nothing. It's because they've been moving forward so often, the HRE, they just feel like they can't unlimit them in time. Which, I mean, in this case, I'd probably bring a horse artillery, so you can keep moving it forward. Yeah, they've been constantly on the move. I feel like that's just going to be a problem now with the HRE, is that you are constantly on the advance. You've got to bring a horse artillery to maybe keep going really quickly, or a small caliber gun, like a 3-pounder or something like that. Got some janissaries here for the Ottomans. Still have the elites, bodyguards to the Sultan. So I don't know if they're really bodyguards much more at this point in history. They're just kind of like just elite troops. There you go, got CPI. Oh no, yeah, CPI kept going into the back lines here. And then they're just going to go in and slam into the fronts of these retreating US troops. And then finally, the Turks can go over and support because, I mean, they kind of already are. As you can see here, 1814 is kind of being forced back. Okay, it's all 1814. We've got a infantry here forming squares. Going to stop the heavies. But whether the heavies can go up the road, maybe, then just try and wrap it behind again, a bit like the HRE did. Finally, some of the HRE units as well are starting to bleed. I mean, this one's down to 111 men, so it's lost 80 troops, and it's finally starting to orange line. I think the strategy when you play against the HRE is you have to like target units one at a time. So you're gonna have like 2 French units targeting 1 HRE, and slowly you'll like chip it away and kill it off. That, I think is kind of what you have to do. I think the square as well just broke there. I don't think it was by the Cav, it was just the guns of the HRE, and that is pretty much officially US gone. I'm surprised they haven't gone over and just charged these guys with this CPI Cav. They are active. They speed in no time at all. There you go. Maybe the Turks are playing with them. Playing with their food. Looks like France is... Yeah, bizarrely leaving a Wessenberg infantry with the unit just sort of stand there and just take the hits. The square here formed that kind of repulsed a Grenza charge, and I think also the Cav was coming in to try and get a kill as well. It's actually a good way to even still fight infantry as squares, because it does actually give you bonuses apparently in melee. So they work across with that works with infantry as well. And there you go, the Turkish Cav coming in, going straight through the same line almost as the HRE cavalry, and as you can see here, they're going through it. It's like just some infantry, some basic infantry. Now they can wrap in behind, ignore that square, just wrap in behind. Go for the infantry here. Units here, the Wettenbergers looking like a prime target. There's Italian guardsmen as well. They've got a wide variety of troops here. A lot of allied troops by the looks of it. 1812. Here. I'd say the National Guard have got to be a prime target. It's definitely a unit that cannot form square, or at least most of them cannot form square. The French are kind of, turning the HRE flank, which is a success, I guess, in some way. Whether the French can get a unit to flank, like go down the flank here, and there is still a HRE unit in the forest, I guess, blocking. I hope, but the French could sort of hit the HRE in the side, and then also shoot them in the front, or just charge them in the front. They might break them. And start to sort of cause a bit of a mass rout, because that is one of the weaknesses of the HRE is morale. If they kind of like have their backs or their sides open to an attack, they will start to waver and break. They're quite happy in sort of like this sort of slugfest, just facing each other. If the enemy's in front of them, that's fine. As soon as the enemy gets behind them or to their side, it's all starts to become a bit of a problem for them. Looks like, yeah, the Ottomans are just mopping up. Now it looks like, yeah, the US have just a few units return just to be routed once again, I think. Yeah, we've got like the Janissaries and some of their other troops just mopping up there. The Ottomans now can send the rest of their forces over here. Be a real pain. They can bring that artillery train over here as well, which they are doing. Don't know if the HRE want to think about maybe getting Cav in behind. I mean, or whether they're playing passive with Cav because they're still worried that the French might have some. I mean, I'd start to be aggressive. I'd start to try and get in behind. Maybe try and get that general. If you can get that general, you break 1814 pretty much there and then. I would have thought. But we'll see what they do. Some Wettenbergers returning, dueling with some Ottoman troops. They're probably very confused as to why they are dueling with Ottoman troops. Imagine, yeah, being like a soldier from a random sort of like minor state in Germany, fighting Ottomans, all in the name of France. Like, what on earth am I doing here? Am I tripping? Am I taking some drugs? Yeah, it's just a gunfight. I don't think the French can win. Not at this point anyway, I don't think. I mean, yeah, it's just HRE and also the Ottomans left. So it is, I think, technically a 2v2. I think with like the variations of the French here, but you gotta remember the 1812 player now has no generals. He's had no generals since like the beginning of the game, and yeah, 1814 I don't think has the capability to outshoot the HRE. The 1812 player might, as an 11 player, probably had the means to deal with HRE. Certainly with the Cav, like he had brought a lot of Cav, which Russia dealt with. Russia and Rod. Look at Cav here, yeah, in the back lines. There's heavy Cav in the back, but this French infantry here just gunning them down. They are active, this Cav, so why they haven't maybe thought about going into a charge, I don't know. They still have plenty of energy, but they are down to 46. He's not going to use them soon. They are just going to get wasted, sort of. They routed some stuff and then helped run it down. Keep it out of musket range. Just keep it in the back. Just keep the French looking over their shoulder. Croatian Grenzers, they keep coming forward. Like I said, all the French could do really just keep backing away, keep backing away. Do just go and get their, if they can get a light cabin behind, get the general, that would be a real win. We've got what we've got here, dragoons. Yeah, they've got nothing. I'd say it's like particularly light. There's lots of dragoons, which is, I mean, still good enough to go and kill that general. Just nothing too light and speedy that will catch the French off balance. This guy Cav here is just trotting into battle. It's just like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're just walking slowly. No one will shoot us, I'm sure, right? There's some of the Italian guardsmen. Looks like grenadiers in the guard. Mount up, boys. Stop blasting for Italy and the Emperor. Or not. Just march on. These look like Prussians, I think, actually, these guys. Service of France, Prussians. And I think, yeah, we're about to see a melee charge. And immediately these guardsmen get broken. I think that is just no general and sort of lack of morale through army losses. We'll see. Yeah, it looks like more Prussians as well. Quite possibly is. I think the Laguerre spam is going to be the way for that. But these Laguerre here, just going to have to bring like 20 units of them, just try and use those to spam against the HRE. Here we go, France is now in a bit of trouble. Looks like they have lost, yeah, they lost the Kaiser Franz Dragoon here, that might return. They have got another one here, the HRE, and they're now in the back lines, looking for that general. As you can see, I think they're going to try and go in there. You can see the turn. There is, yeah, lots of line infantry waiting. There you go, Young Guard. Gonna try and save them. They routed that unit of National Guardsmen. Don't think they're gonna get much else. Cav is actually gonna hold. But it's allowed the HRE to get closer. I mean, if the HRE had been patient and done this with both units at the same time, the generals nearly dashed out the forest. If the other Cav was waiting, which it has now just returned, only winded, he can maybe just have gone in for a charge there and got that gen. But ah well. All ifs and buts. Looks like 1812 might have got himself, suicided himself a little bit here. It looks like he is like accepting defeat. They are still holding the building here. Are the French? That's something. I don't know. It's like a typical French line infantry in there, so could be difficult to get rid of. Unless it's 1812s, then got no general, so it won't be too tough. Square formed here, scaring off the HRE, and in goes the HRE infantry again. There you go, General has died. That is 1814. He looks like he dashed out of the forest a little too early. He was trying to avoid, I don't know, maybe infantry charges, and now his force here is going to get descended upon by HRE Cav. guards of Paris and the Young Guard are going to break. And that's also the rest of the French army breaking there. And the HRE can farm if they want to their heart's content. And yeah, we're just now going to wait on these final sort of French units to push forward. And the Ottomans are going to just get in behind, just shoot these guys in the back or melee them, I'd imagine. And then the house probably just needs one melee charge, and that would be enough to get rid of them. What is this? Oh, it's the Italian Guard again. Coming back for round 2. Are going to get a volley off? I don't know. There you go, they break. I mean, this unit's orange lining, so I mean, I charge it soon while there's a routing French around it. I think that is now literally the only French unit that is left. I think the HRE making sure nothing else stands. And yeah, we should see the Turks going soon. Yeah, it's going to be the Janissaries. I thought it might be them. They're probably the best melee suited unit here to deal with this obstacle. We'll see how they do. And there you go. Immediately the French have routed. And that is going to be GG and a coalition victory at Blandesberg here for a very strange trio of the HRE, the Ottomans, and Russia Narod. But it worked. The chaos and the minds of Russia Narod, you know, just basically whittling down the strengths of that 11-pointer. Killing off the general as well was huge. Just to basically weaken his core. Even if he had no cav, the infantry would have had decent morale. But with no general, that's weakened. And yeah, then the Ottomans as well did a good job in their duel against the US. It didn't seem like at any point really had control of that situation. And the HRE just, you know, slowly slugging away on 1814. And eventually got the victory. This was sent in by Johnny Le Buffoon, who was playing as Russian Narod. He hasn't got massive kills. One of his Cossacks getting 84 kills. And another one getting 62. One of his, it's an infantry unit here getting 87. But they're very important kills, and he had a very important role nonetheless, even if his army was pretty much destroyed in the first sort of 10 minutes. But there you go, guys. That is today's NTW3 battle. If you want to see more Napoleonic chaos like this one today, then do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and a comment show your support. And don't forget that hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any streams or any uploads for NTW3, as there's plenty of them on the way. Until next time, guys, bye for now.